Welcome to More Than Kimchi. You know, I have a friend who says that those that don't appreciate food are really missing out on one of the most important things in life. And I think I really understand what she means because this week learning to cook with you and trying all these foods has been wonderful for me. And what about you, Hwa Young? I mean, you've been cooking and eating for a long time.
Right, like everybody else. For me, I can't imagine life without eating or cooking. It's the biggest pleasure for me.
And my understanding is that it's not only you, but many Koreans. For example, well, not only Koreans, but Asians. And I've been to China and Japan and Koreans. Everyone seems to really love food, and it seems important.
That's right. Koreans, we do love to eat. You've probably seen Koreans, you know, going picnic or outing. We always carry food, or we have to even cook food when we go, you know, hikings or something like that.
Really?
So eating is really part of our culture.
And what about at a party? A lot of times the hostess makes a lot of food.
That's right. You've probably been invited to Korean homes a lot. And typically, we will prepare more than what we could eat. And then the host or hostess usually say, well, we haven't got much, but please take you know, our humble food. That's what we usually say.
Wow, that's very polite. Well, you know, I also know in Korean there's an important proverb that goes something like this: even before we look at Mount Kumgang, we have to eat first. And I guess Mount Kumgang is very beautiful.
That's right. It's in North Korea, and the scenery is supposed to be best in Korea. You know so much about Korea, we don't have to really talk about it to him anymore.
Well, all this talk of food is making me hungry. What about today? What are we going to make?
You know, Mark, first, you know, when we have food, one thing we shouldn't forget is the drinks that we have with.
Okay.
So today we were going to have a traditional Korean kind of punch. It's called pear. So it's like a traditional punch that we cook with pear and ginger.
All right. Doesn't that sound delicious? Very refreshing. We'll be right back with the ingredients.
Let's take a look at today's ingredients. Of course, we have to have pear. One more time, it's called the pear, today's dish, and pear literally means cooked pear.
Cooked pear, okay.
So we have pear, some cinnamon stick, and peeled ginger, sugar, pine nuts, and peppercorns.
Oh, okay. These are interesting. Now, what does the peppercorn add flavor? Or?
That's right. A little bit of spicy flavor with ginger, but you don't eat it, actually. It's too hard.
Oh, I see. All right. Well, let me ask you about the pears, because I know these are a little bit different from pears that I've seen in the United States. Are these, what are these called? Asian pears?
Well, I guess you could say Asian pears. And the difference from Western pear is that this is a lot bigger, and the texture is very different. It's very crispy, and it also contains more water than the Western pears.
Oh, I see. Are they expensive? Or
I don't think these days it's not that expensive, but if it's not seasoned, it could be expensive in Korea too.
Great. All right. Well, let's get started with the cooking process. What's first?
First thing we're going to do is we have to make ginger juice.
Okay.
So I have ginger here.
I'm going to cut that up.
I'm going to slice them.
Okay. What is ginger called in Korean again?
It's called 생강.
생강. Okay.
And this we use a lot. We use in cooking with the beef because of the flavor sort of takes away the smell of the beef. So we use a lot of meat dish with the 생강 too.
Oh, okay. All right.
Then I'm going to
So you boiling the water first there?
First, I will boil the water with the 생강.
Okay.
There.
Oh, okay.
Some ginger.
And so that, what, does that absorb the ginger then?
Then the liquid will have the ginger flavor.
Okay.
And then I'm going to have some of those cinnamon stick, just a couple of them.
Yeah, I think I've tasted this before. It's starting to sound very familiar with the cinnamon and the ginger. How long do you let that boil for?
This way we need to boil for about 30 minutes. So while we are boiling the liquid, why don't we prepare the pear?
Okay. Well, how do we do that?
Pear first I have to cut.
Okay.
This is kind of larger size than the ordinary one, so I'm going to make it slightly smaller.
Actually, I was at the market the other day, and I saw some pears that were absolutely huge, bigger than anything I've ever seen. These about mini basketball size, and
That's right.
is that normal?
Yeah, I think some of the pears these days, especially, I think their skills, agriculture skills are so good, and they can make a real juicy, sweet pears. You can see them
They're
in the market.
delicious and really, really good.
Would you like to try to peel the skin?
I guess I could help you out here,
Sure.
except I don't have a knife. Oh well.
Oh well.
Why
Then
don't
you can
do it
maybe
first?
watch. Right.
So you're just cutting those into small sizes, or?
I'm going to make it to an eighth.
Okay. Oh, that's going to taste really good. Now, pears, when are pears particularly in season?
Of course, it's the
In
fall. Fall is the season.
Until about when? Do they go out of season in about?
Well, throughout the winter, you can get them in the market pretty easily.
Oh, okay.
But throughout the year, you can get them, but they get to be pretty expensive.
Right, right. Well, I really do enjoy these pears. They're really, really juicy and fresh.
I'm going to cut one more.
Okay. Now, do Koreans make a lot of traditional beverages at home?
Some are pretty popular. This one is pretty popular, I would say. And also, have you heard 수정과?
Sujeonggwa, that's what it is. That's the one I was thinking of. Now, that has cinnamon.
That's right.
What else does that have in
Also, it has a ginger juice, so it's very similar. So sometimes we call this dish as a pear 수정과 too.
Oh, okay. That's why I knew that it sounded familiar.
Because the liquid is basically the same.
Okay.
So now we prepare the pear, and what you need to do is, could you pass the peppercorns?
Sure.
You're going to stick
Oh.
3.
Oh, you just put them right inside
That's
the pear.
right. Mm-hmm.
I see. Oh, that's
This is how you're
interesting.
going to do it. Would you like to make some
Sure.
of those?
Well, this looks pretty simple. All you do is just kind of...
You have to just press hard.
Okay.
About 3 of them there.
All right. And so what does this do? This, what kind of flavor, how does it work? Does it...
The basic, juice we have with the ginger and then also with the cinnamon. But also this pear will give kind of sweet flavor. So it's kind of spicy. And then, ginger
okay.
flavor and the sweet pear flavor goes really well.
Actually, we might be able to think of these as cloves even.
That's
Are they
right,
similar?
right,
I know in the
right.
West we put cloves in punch and things.
Right, especially when
that-
you make a hot wine punch.
Right,
You
at
use
Christmas or
apple,
something.
and then
Yeah.
you stick a lot of cloves. It's just the
Okay.
same idea.
So that's the same idea? All right. So we're going to put these in here, which is...
I think that the flavor won't change.
I hope not, because it's not looking very pretty here. All right. So there we go.
I'll cut one more piece here.
Okay. They look very cute, actually. All right. So then all you're doing is you're adding the pears to the boiled water.
Right. This
And,
juice, but it has to be boiled for about 30 minutes.
okay.
And after that, we'll put the pear inside.
Okay. Very good. Well, it looks like the water is almost boiled, or has been boiling.
Yes, this I prepared a little bit in advance because we do need 30 minutes. See the nice brown color?
Oh, man, that
So in order
smells
to get the color and flavor, we do have to boil for 30 minutes. Now it's time to put the pears,
Okay.
the slice of pears we prepared.
You just put them in there? Now, how long are we going to keep them in there for?
After we put the slices of pear, we should boil for another 15 minutes
Another 15
until
minutes.
the color of the pear becomes very clear.
Oh, I see. So that's how you know when the pear color changes,
Right.
then it's ready.
Right.
But you can smell that garlic, not garlic, but
Ginger.
You can smell the
생강.
ginger and the spices. It smells so
You can
refreshing.
smell it, right.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about today's food. Well, first of all, I'd like to talk about our friend Ginger, all right? I actually was reading some food history, and I'm going to tell you a little story about
Sure.
ginger, okay? In the 5th century, a lot of people were going out to sea, and in China, people were getting very sick, and they were dying, because, it's so difficult to keep nutrition out when you're at sea. And so what the Chinese did was they carried ginger on their boats, and they would eat that, and after they started eating ginger, it really helped their health.
Yeah.
And so they used it. What
Right.
about Korea?
In Korea, we always think of ginger that we use with the meat, but also with Chinese medicine too. We believe that ginger helps to protect your stomach wall, so it helps the digestion, of course, and also supposed to keep our body warm. And one more thing, you know how Koreans love to drink,
Right.
and this also supposed to help to recover the hangover.
Wow. So how about that? All of those medicinal benefits of our friend here, ginger. If you can drink ginger tea, it's good, especially when the seasons change. It keeps your health up,
Yes,
right?
sure.
All right. Good advice. And we'll be right back with our punch. Well, as you can see, our boiled pear punch here is all ready to drink, and it is called baesuk in Korean.
That's right.
And I was going to ask you about whether you drink it hot or cold.
This is like, you remember you've seen 수정과? It's basically the same kind of drink, except instead of using dried cinnamon, this time you are using fresh pear, and you cook with the pear.
Okay.
And you're supposed to chill for a while before you serve, so it's a cold beverage. And before you serve, just for decoration, a little bit of
right?
flavor,
pine
yes.
nuts?
You put a little bit of pine nuts, and
This
then these are the thin stripes of Chinese dates.
Right. Boy, that seems to be one of our most popular ingredients here. So you just put those in, and it's all ready to go, right?
Yes.
All right. I guess I'll try it then. Bon appetit, everyone. Let me see how it tastes. Oh, I really like that. Boy, the pear mixes with, what is it? What is it mixed? The ginger, that's what it is.
The spice with ginger and also the peppercorns. So it's a kind of nice mixture of the three different flavors.
Boy, I really like that all of those tastes mix together. And so it's not quite sweet, not quite tangy, but somewhere in between.
That's right.
Very refreshing.
And also what I want to mention about this drink is, 수정가 is usually supposed to be made by common people in old days. And baesuk was prepared in the palace.
Oh, in the palace. Well, I guess that makes us rather official, doesn't it? All right, very good. Well, this is a really nice drink. If you don't want to make it at home, what you can do is go to a place like Insadong, right? Because there are a lot of tea houses there, and they serve these traditional drinks, and they're very good. But you might want to give it a shot at home, okay? So we hope you've learned something new here on More Than Kimchi, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.